Hello and welcome to Silence is Golden. He's Troy Dean.
He's Simon Kelly.
And today we're going to be talking about building unstoppable momentum in your business. We'll also be taking a look at some strategies to help you do that. We'll be taking a look at some free training that we're offering here at WP Elevation and what we have on track for this month, which is our sprint month. Stay with us. Yeah.
Oh, of course. Sound came up on the iPad.
Nailed it.
We're
How you doing?
60 seconds in and it's all gone south. I'm good. Of course, you forgot to mention that we're coming to you live from Studio A here at WP Elevation headquarters in the world's most livable city, Melbourne, Australia.
Why A?
Well, I don't know. Well, because there is no B.
Yeah, well, yet.
Yeah,
Is that
that's right.
That's the thing.
That's the
If
plan.
anyone picked up on that.
That's right. This is Studio A, which means there could be Studio B or Studio C. It's like when you write a book and you say Volume 1.
Gotcha. Even though you've only, just got started.
Written
It's your
one.
first
Well,
book.
I mean, George Lucas wrote Star Wars Episode 4. He started at Episode 4, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a
Great
idea.
bit of pre-framing there. This is Episode 4. Where's 1, 2, and 3?
If you're going to build a franchise,
haven't written them
just
yet.
be like, this is the 90th one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
so the thing is, George Lucas wrote. This is actually kind of relevant. George Lucas wrote 9 treatments, really, 9 episodes of the Star Wars.
Treatment.
What's 9 episodes? Is it a non-tology? It's not an octology, that'd be 8. It's not a trilogy, that'd be 3. Maybe it's a non-tology. He wrote, the non-tology of Star Wars wrote 9 episodes, basically, the outline of 9 episodes. And then they shot Episode 4 first, which was Star Wars. Episode 5 was Empire Strikes Back. Episode 6 was Return of the Jedi. And then it all went south after that. And nobody really cares.
So we wrote them all first, though, because that makes
Yeah, he
that
kind of
makes
wrote
sense.
them all first, and then started at Episode 4.
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
knows
yeah.
why?
Who
so
does
yes,
know why?
so
Let
this
us know if
is
you know
Studio
why.
A. At he made more money out of the merchandise. He's very smart. He kept the rights to the merchandise, and he made all of his money out of the merchandise from Episode 4, and that's what funded Episode 5 and 6.
Well, it's similar here. Like, we make all
That's right. All our money out of merchandise.
shirts and
Yeah.
stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All our money out of
Exactly.
shirts and stickers.
Yeah. Well, some things have been happening lately, so let's take a look at stuff that happened.
Stuff that happened.
I'll tell you what happened. Monte Cristo, Josh Howell, and Rob Parmenter, and Steve Bentley, and Christina Hawkins all joined in the live stream and are watching us live on Facebook. Hello!
What's going on, guys?
That's what happened. Hey, before we get into stuff that happened, I've got a quick favour to ask. Not you, them. I've got a quick favour to ask. Can you please share this with as many people you know who might benefit from A, learning something about running a freelance business as a creative skills provider, or might just have a laugh at me losing my shit like I did last week and laughing so hard I almost threw up on the set. So if you think anyone would benefit from watching this show, anyone who's building their own business, I mean, the truth is most of what we talk about here, some of what we talk about here is related to WordPress and web design because that's our background, but most of what we talk about is relevant to any kind of creative freelancer. So if you think anyone would benefit from this show, please share it with your friends. We would love them to come and throw tomatoes at us.
That's it, exactly. That needs to be an emoji, just the tomato throw. People are like, oh, come on, boo.
Why isn't that an emoji?
Well,
it is all love.
There's
anger.
anger. There should be a tomato.
But there's not your shit. There should be a your shit emoji.
Yeah.
We would definitely max that one out, wouldn't we?
Tomatoes and poo just getting thrown at us.
In fact, I did want to apologise for my behaviour last week because I lost my shit. It was very unprofessional, and we have some core values here at WP Elevation, and our first core value is to help people and have fun. And I certainly had fun, but I'm not sure I helped anyone. So I do want to apologise to my co-host and our community here for being a lame duck last week and losing my shit so much that I added no value to the conversation whatsoever.
If you watch it back, there is the yin and yang of Troy that was there, the Jekyll and Hyde, if you will, and it's good. Yeah, there was a lot of giggles going on there. I basically had to like hold you down from leaving the room, just so you had to embrace it and face the music. But there was moments of value.
I did watch it back and it brought me to tears.
Yeah, same, actually.
You
couldn't get through?
Tears of cringe, I couldn't get through. Rob Parmenter just threw a tomato at us on Facebook.
There we
Excellent.
go.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Rob.
buddy. Feels good.
Excellent. Okay,
Cool.
what happened? What's going on?
Yeah, well, this week, what I thought I'd do is put together some articles that that really support the month that we're in, which is Sprint Month.
That's right.
And what is Sprint all about?
Well,
what does that mean?
so every 4 months here at WP Elevation, so January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. You ever do that thing where you use your knuckles to work out how many days are in the months? Do you know that one? Oh, Max, I think we need a little zoom here on the camera. I'll show you the trick. January, you start with January, right?
Sure.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Now, every knuckle has 31 days.
Damn.
January, February, March, April, May, July, August, September, October, November, December, all have 31 days. The rest of them have 30, except February, which is bipolar and has 28 days, except every 4 years has 29 days.
And that's the definition of bipolar,
Correct,
basically.
that is the definition of bipolar.
You know, loose translation.
So August is every 4 months we have sprint month, which is basically, so we have themed months here at WP Elevation. Our months are Grow, which is where we focus on the sales and marketing side of the business, Elevate, where we focus on the operations part of the business, and Profit, where we focus on the finance part of the business. And then every 4th month is Sprint, where you basically go through your to-do list. You have all this stuff that you've accumulated over the last 3 months on your to-do list from following our training and watching us lose our shit on Facebook. And then you just basically drill through your to-do list and get shit done. It doesn't matter whether it's sales or marketing, operations or profit. You just catch up. You spend this month catching up, sprinting, getting shit done, and also having some downtime and looking after your health, physical and mental health, so that then next month we can start back in the growth and start having a look at sales and marketing again.
Yep, exactly. Yep, and
that's
it's
what a
not just
sprint
about
month is.
getting through you mentioned the to-do list, absolutely, you know, important to smash through that stuff, but it's like those big rocks, right? Like it's not just like going through the stuff that you need to do for the sake of doing stuff. Was that quote, I think, Peter Drucker? It's like nothing is less efficient than doing something efficiently that shouldn't be done at all.
That's good.
Yeah.
Did you just remember that?
Maybe.
That's not bad.
Probably not accurate. Don't look that up.
Paraphrasing, it's called.
Exactly. All right. So things that have been going on. So what I put together was one of Suzanne. Well, you know, it says Troy Dean, but you know, it's
Suzanne
our
Skarka.
copywriter.
Suzanne Skarka, who's
Did an
one of our
absolutely
blog writers.
fantastic job.
She's excellent.
At putting this article together. How changing your mindset can give you your most productive day. Now, there's some absolute gold in there, and we'll be referring to that throughout the month. This is the key cornerstone article that we're focusing on for this month. So we'll be referencing this many times. But just briefly coming into the top section of this. So negative mindsets that need changing right now. And you know, give us a hands up, give us a thumbs up, or just type yes into the comments if any of these apply to you. Feeling not good enough,
Imposter syndrome.
yeah, exactly. Feeling hopeless, feeling impatient, feeling helpless, feeling paralyzed by fear. I really like this acronym, like on fear. If no one's heard this before,
this is good.
False evidence appearing real. Like that's gold. This is some of those things. It's just like by calling it out and kind of making a bit of fun out of something that's a bit uncomfortable, it actually disempowers it a lot of the time. And by coming up with an acronym like that, false evidence appearing real, it just helps to just kind of lose its power. You know, there's a lot of mind trickery that you can do with yourself. It's crazy.
100%. It reminds me of a therapist I had once who said to me, I was having a bit of anxiety around some, life issues, and she said to me, look at the evidence in front of you.
Right.
Rather than getting lost in the thoughts in your head of what might happen, look at the evidence in front of you as a reminder of what's really going on.
She's just trying to get you to pay the bill. She's
Correct,
like, no,
that's
there,
right.
Pay
That's
that bill.
right. Here's the bill.
The
Pay the
evidence
bill.
needs a
Don't worry about
signature.
what's going on in your head. Pay the bill. Pete Perry says, yes, stop. I don't know whether he wants us to keep going or stop. I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah.
confused, Pete. Jen Sikowski's watching. Hi, Jen. How you going? Joining in all the way from Pennsylvania.
Little
Okay.
masterclass we've got going on here. Looking forward to seeing this crew in
I know.
less than
Well,
a month, just 6 weeks.
I don't think Pete
we've
and
got
Jen are
left.
coming to Thailand, actually. I know. Jen can't make it
Build
to
me
Thailand.
up, Buttercup, just to tear me down.
Unfortunately. I know. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But Christina Hawkins is coming, apparently. Is that right, Christina Hawkins? You coming to Thailand? Give us a on Facebook if you are. Anyway,
Monte Cristo.
let's get back to the agenda and stop getting distracted, Simon.
Impossible. Also, an article from Specky Boy, which don't let these bad habits destroy your freelancer business. 1, being unresponsive to clients. Now, sometimes it can get a little overwhelming and you want to just curl into a ball and just communication is very, very difficult. If that happens, it's not something that you need to be so fearful and like punish yourself for. Just understand that that is something that can happen and try to put in some measures to be able to stop that from being something that could affect your business. One of the things that we do is set up some email templates, and I also have my project manager Amy help when things, I might not be unresponsive because I'm afraid or anxious or something, it could just be insanely busy, but we've got these templates, and so my team can help support our efforts to keep projects moving forward. A project moving is a moject, all right? Just so you all know.
Ooh, a project moving is a moject.
Yeah, that's a thing now.
Who made that shit up?
Me just then.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was also
Fair enough.
an interview with Tara Johnson, one of our elevators and mavericks that was published on the WP Elevation blog, and through many conversations with Tara, a lot of mindset things that she's overcome and had to work through are very evident in her business, and to be able to not just break through them and they don't exist anymore, any mindset issues around anxiety, it's about managing them on a day-to-day basis. So check out that interview because it's fantastic.
I just got to say, how good is the system here with these lower thirds? You built these lower thirds in a spreadsheet,
I might
right?
have. Yeah.
So how good is the system here? There's something to learn here for all of us. How good is the system here that by the time we go live and say the thing on the show, Max pulls up a lower third, and that lower third is being dynamically fed by a Google Sheet that these guys have access to, and they just type in, you know, the name of the lower third and the actual link, and then it dynamically populates into the software.
Pretty
That's
slick.
A good system, isn't it? We've come a long way, my friends.
And we've still got plenty to go. Like, there's plenty of plans for the show.
There's big stuff happening. I used to write the lower thirds on the whiteboard when I was live streaming from my phone, and I'd go, and now go here and check out the link. And I'd show the link on the whiteboard, and that was pretty, actually I never did that. But it was pretty lo-fi. It's getting pretty sweet. Now, Monte Cristo loves the moject. I think the jury's out. I'm not convinced. Christina, Jeffrey Patch says, I want to go to Thailand. We'll come to Thailand. Jeffrey. Christina says, being a mummy, it might not happen. Bring the kids. I am. I'm taking the wife and the kid to Thailand. Monte Cristo, of course, is already here in Thailand. There you go.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Well, by the way, for those that don't know what we're talking about, we're going to Koh Samui at the end of September for our company retreat. We're flying the entire team from Australia and the Philippines into Thailand because it's kind of somewhere central and beautiful that we can all go and hang out and meet. And for a lot of us, it'll be the first time the Filipinos have met the Australians and vice versa. So that'll be very exciting. And then the week after, the first week of October, we're running our Mavericks Club Mastermind in Koh Samui, which is going to be epic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of fun.
Yeah, can't wait. Last one was an absolute blast. Speaking of our community, we had a few questions come in this week.
Oh,
so
did
let's
we?
see if we can help some people get unstuck.
Okay.
Let's get unstuck.
By the way, can I just
Lean
say,
forward a little bit too much
I'm
there?
curious how we sound here, right? Because I've just noticed that your microphone, as usual, because you're very bad at following instructions, is sitting a little bit higher than mine.
Yep.
And I think mine's sitting in the perfect position. Yours is sitting a little too high
You reckon?
for my liking. But I'm curious how it sounds. I'm curious if, and by the way, it's all academic because these microphones very, very quickly, as in like next week, are going to be replaced with these bad boys.
Yeah.
Now, this one's not working right now. Why? Slight technical sidebar. Because if I turn phantom power on, which this thing needs, it blows these things up. And it's like... So we don't want that. So I've got phantom power off at the moment. So... But next week, we'll both have one of these, right? And we'll be talking like this.
Looks good, doesn't
and
it?
we will sound amazing like we're on the radio. The only question I have is, how are we going to, you and I do a fair bit of this kind of looking at each other. These are what are called end address microphones. So you've kind of got to talk into the end of them. If I do this, right, it's going to be, I'm not sure. I don't know. We're going to have to play around a little bit. But anyway, these are coming.
You like point? Oh no, that's
These are
going to get
coming.
in your face a little bit much if you point it like that.
These are coming next week. We'll hopefully both have one of these and it'll sound amazing.
But
Anyway.
we won't be able to look at each other. We'll
won't
just
look
have
at
to
each
use
other.
the screen.
Well, that might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, true that. It looks better on there anyway compared to
Looks great.
what we see in
Yeah.
real life. Cool. So the question today comes from Rob Parmenter in the WP Elevation group. And Rob says, how do you decide what to start blogging with if you've never blogged before. What is a good first blog post, and how many days after should you post another? Right, Rob, with that, so there's a couple of questions together here. What do you start blogging with if you've never blogged before? 100%, my absolute number one tip for this is blog about what you already know. And don't overthink what that is. Just something that you know and that you're comfortable speaking about, and you can just kind of freestyle an article, use the content creation framework that you can Google, and hopefully that will come up with something from WP Elevation, or look within the members area for content creation framework, and you'll have that to be able to support creating a blog post. But just write something that you're familiar with and you're comfortable talking about, so you can build some momentum in order to create some more articles, right? There will be plenty more. So it's not about trying to fit everything into one, it's just one idea, right? Just if you're thinking about a top tip for websites, let's say you've got lots and lots of tips, just pick one. Just pick something along the lines of where you should put the phone number on the website and why that's important for small businesses, as an example. And then other parts to the question were, what's a good first blog post? The one that you publish, I think, is the good first one.
Yep.
And how many days after? So just as a kind of general rule, I guess, to get started, there are no general rules, first of all. But if you were to publish one a week, that would be absolutely fantastic if you have the capacity to do that, right? And when it comes to creating the content versus publishing the content, these are two separate things. You could create the content in bulk, in a week, and then publish that for the next couple of months to be able to save yourself some time for batch processing there. There are no hard and fast rules, but that's a good way to
Well,
get
I think
started.
there is one hard and fast rule, which is this: consistency is key. So if you are going to publish a blog post once a week and you do that for a month, then you better be committed to publishing a blog post once a week for the rest of your freaking life, right? If you are only
There are no
prepared...
changes, no takesy backsies.
Correct. No takesies, backsies. If you can only do one a month, then just do one a month. But do one a month. Don't do one a month and then do what I do, which is go missing for 3 years. My blog, I think the last post was December 2016. Been a little busy over at WP Elevation, so I don't really give a shit about my own website too much, although we are rebuilding it, redesigning it, and there is new content coming. But the point is, stay consistent. So whatever you can manage, just do that and stay consistent.
Do what he says, not do what he does.
That's right. And just learn out loud. Just share what you learn.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Not every blog post has to be mind-blowing. Just remember that most people on the planet won't care about your blog. The few that find it, most of them won't know what you know. So they're interested in learning what you know. So it doesn't matter. Just blog. Just get some content out there. Make it unique. That would be my other thing. Don't just repeat what other people say. Just share what you learn.
Having a bit of an opinion is good. Like, you've got a post that's always eye-catching, like recurring revenue is horse shit.
Passive income is horse shit.
No, recurring revenue is fantastic
That's right.
shit.
Passive income is horse shit. Have an opinion and back that opinion up with facts.
I like it.
Matthew Rodella says, I prefer publishing epic content as often as I can, but I don't like to rush to get a subpar blog post out just because I'm trying to stick to an arbitrary schedule. There we go.
Nice one.
Perfect. Oh, Rob Parmenter's watching and he says, awesome, thanks.
Oh,
there
sweet,
we go.
perfect.
Beck Waterhouse says, one topic or idea per blog post. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Jeffrey Patch is a genius because he's noticed that you're taller than me.
Yeah, I thought you might say something about that earlier because I was popping out the top there. Well, there you
Popping
go.
out the top, eh?
Just
Popping as a
leave that alone.
tweetable. Simon Kelly's popping out the top.
Yeah. Watch live to see what that means. NSFW. So, as we're getting into those kind of things, let's take a look at what made some wee come out this week. We don't
have a bumper.
No, of course not. But
So here's the deal, though. We've trashed one of our segments.
yeah.
We've trashed. This pisses me off.
It could be back.
I don't like it.
I like it.
Negative.
You know what pisses me off?
Negative
You
Nancy.
saying it's negative.
It's negative Nancy. No, we decided to get rid of.
No.
This pisses me
We
off.
haven't.
Well,
We
we
haven't.
have.
Uncontrolled.
Well, where is it?
Well, this week it's
Max
not there. 'Cause
deleted
we're
the
really
bumper
happy.
from the media
you're
bin.
Joking.
Gone, mate.
Jesus Christ.
Gone. He
Who
deleted-
misses this pisses me off? Let me know if you missed that. I had a good time.
Tell me if you miss this pisses me off.
Crickets, tumbleweeds, nothing.
So we have a new segment called "What Made the Wii Come Out?" And That made the we come out 100%. So this.
That's it. I didn't brief Troy on what made the we come out, but it just came out. So there you go.
Andrew Downey, by the way, says, "Don't Google popping out the top." Not safe for work. Oh, that's what NSFW is. Not safe for work. I just worked it out. Who doesn't love a good rant? Says Peter. How about messing with Troy, Mitch Britt?
Yeah. The whole point of this show should just be who can make Troy crumble and walk off.
Monte Cristo. You know what pisses Monte Cristo off? The fact that there is no pisses me off.
Yeah, that pisses me off as well. Yeah.
I mean, we can rant, but without actually... I mean, the thing is, I just felt like... First of all, we're both pretty happy, positive sort of blokes, aren't we?
How dare you say that to me? Yeah, no.
And not much pisses us off. Good. And so every week we were like, we're going to find something to rant about.
It was a stretch, you know? It was difficult.
Also, it was just a little bit kind of, But, we occasionally might bring something back if something actually does piss us off.
Yeah, there you go.
But this week, I found something that made the we come out. And it is. So here's the thing, right? I am trying to divorce myself from technology as much as possible.
How's that going for you?
Well, I'm sitting here with an Apple Pencil and an iPad Pro, and I'm live streaming on Facebook. So how do you think it's going?
With 4 microphones.
With 4 microphones.
And there's a screen over there.
No, so it's more specifically, I'm trying to do less screen time. I'm trying to get out of the screen a little bit and out of the internet.
Gotcha.
And be more engaged in the real world and have more conversations with the team. So one of the things I'm trying to do, and I'm failing badly, one of the things I'm trying to do is use Voxer a bit more to communicate with the team about what I want. I'm out of Asana. I've cancelled myself out of Asana. I'm no longer in our team Asana account, much to the rest of the team's dismay, because they can't assign anything to me anymore. I'm in Slack, and people can get hold of me on Slack. I'm encouraging people to come and talk to me, knock on the door, walk in and go, hey, I need to talk to you. Awesome, unreal. Nice. Let's get that happening. And with the team in the Philippines, I'm encouraging them to just ping me and go, can we jump on Zoom for a quick chat? Yep, 100%. Let's have a conversation with our mouths and our faces looking at each other. Far more effective, I think, than typing words into Asana or Slack. So one of the things I've been trying to figure out is how do I then manage my to-do list if I'm not in Asana? And I've been using Things for a while, on and off, infrequently, with varying levels of success. And there's just something about it that doesn't kind of fit the way my brain works. I'm a Virgo, I'm a little bit OCD, I'm a bit of a pain in the ass, frankly. Just ask my wife. And I found Workflowy, which I used a long time ago. I was introduced to that again through a friend of a friend, and I started playing with Workflow, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. I like the outline structure. It kind of helps you outline your thoughts. Yeah. But you can't attach images to a bullet point in Workflowy. And for me, that was a problem, because every now and then I like to take a little screenshot, actually get the Polaroid out, take a photo of the screen, print the Polaroid out, and I wanted to put the Polaroid somewhere. Can't do that in Workflowy. So I went Googling, of course, for Workflowy image attachments, and of course I found the obvious blog post, which is, Workflowy versus all these other outline tools. And I came up with one. Well, I found one.
I came up with it.
Yeah. It's called Dynalist. It's called Dynalist. Now, Dynalist was started by a couple of guys who were using Workflowy and liked it, but thought it could have been better. So they started Dynalist. And I love it. I'm going all in on Dynalist.
Yeah. So what kind of things do you like about it?
Well, it's outline software. So it's just bullet points with indents. Yep. So I've got personal, work, and then within work I've got WP Elevation, and then within that I've got Mavericks Club, Blueprint, Webinar Funnel.
And they're just like sub points of the bigger point?
They're just indented bullet points. So you can just bullet point as many levels as you like.
Yeah. And you can zoom in to a particular one. So we're just working
correct. I'm just working on the webinar funnel right now, so I just click on that, zoom in, and that's all that's on the screen. Marvelous. And then all my bullet points are there. You can turn them into checklists if you want, so you can tick them off. You can also attach images and files to each bullet point. So I can go, hey, Simon, we need to this is a real example right now. We need to redo our webinar slide deck because the current one we're doing is a pile of shit. So we need to make it better. And here's an example one I found somewhere on the interwebs. So I attach the link or the webinar slide deck or whatever it is to the bullet point. And so when Simon and I are having a conversation, I go, hey, check this out, bang, share. And it's, Workflow is good, it's very efficient, but it doesn't allow you to attach files or images.
Just that extra level.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go. Cool. So that's tool of the week. Oh, no, it's not. It's what made the week come out. It's what made
the week come out. Dynalist has made the week come out.
Cool. There you go.
Yes, Jeffrey Patch says, oh my, Dynalist is exactly, capital letters, like how I take notes for myself. There we go. Beautiful.
Oh my. Mm.
And Kate Toon, Andrew Downey says, Kate Toon said today she was going to use Voxer. Being a one-man band, I've not had any use for those apps yet. Well, no, it would be a bit weird if you were just leaving voice messages for yourself, Andrew.
The whole band playing just to yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can definitely see use in that, especially for with your premium level clients, like your high value clients.
Well, that's what we do.
It's a value add.
That's what we do with Mavericks Club. If you join Mavericks Club, you get my Voxer. You get access to me on Voxer. You can call me on Voxer and ask a question anytime. Jen Sikowski, I want to clear something up. Jen Sikowski says, how are you using this on your tablet, meaning the iPad, specifically with your handwritten notes? Good question. Unfortunately, I mean, this is the dream for me. If Dynalist supported handwritten notes with the Apple Pencil, because I'm sick of typing on a keyboard. It's far more efficient for me to write with a pen. That's because I'm old. I was born in the 70s. True story. I grew up learning how to write with a pen. So unfortunately at the moment, Jen, you can make handwritten notes and then you can't export from GoodNotes straight into Dynalist, which is unfortunate. I hope they build that extension at some point. But what I do is I just write handwritten notes and then I save them in Slack to him or Charmaine or whoever I'm communicating with. It was pretty impressive, wasn't it, last night?
Oh, that's pretty good.
And the handwritten notes too.
Oh,
they were good as well.
Yeah.
And so then what you can do is you can, save it as a PDF in Slack and then just attach it to Dynalist. It's a bit clunky, but, but yes, if Dynalist supported handwritten notes, well, now we'd be talking. If you could go bullet point note and just go blrrr, that would make lots of we come out.
There you go. Feature request for the we to come out.
Feature request for Dynalist. We should tag them in this show.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the 27-minute mark.
Yep.
Right? Note to someone watching this who does something in the back office here. Tag Dynalist in this show and say, go to the 27-minute mark and watch Troy ask for a feature request. Can you please add the ability for me to make handwritten notes on the iPad into a bullet in Dynalist? I'd pay extra for that.
Create a diamond version and tag Troy in.
That's
All right,
right.
I think we've got about 24 seconds left to give some value. So let's jump into the gold nugget.
Time to dig into the gold nugget.
All right, today I wanted to talk about building momentum, right?
Okay.
Okay, so why is it important, and you can ask this back to me if you like, why is it important to build momentum in your business and in your life? Like, is that something that's important to you?
That is to me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's and like why? What does that achieve?
Well, because if you're not moving forward, if you're not growing, you're stagnating or you're dying. And I think human beings are hardwired to grow and hardwired to evolve and hardwired to be curious. So forward motion is a good thing.
Yeah, and it breeds more forward motion, like through inertia, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you get the ball rolling on something, you find that like when you build a consistent habit of exercise, it's a lot easier to keep, right? But sitting on the couch and then trying to build a consistent habit of exercise is really difficult when you don't have anything. It's like taking those small steps. Yeah, and it's like, putting on your shoes first will help to be able to then put on your sports equipment, which will help walk out the door,
100%.
which will help get started, and starting
100%.
a walk. And then into a run. Right? So that's the momentum building. Right? And it's pretty much goes for everything that you do in life. So, we're talking mostly about business here, but building momentum, starting up with some of those things that what do we call, like the big domino that's going to knock over the rest and start to knock everything else over, is how you're going to build momentum. So we've got 4 ways that we want to talk about today to help you do that.
Ooh, a framework.
Of course.
Love it.
Cool. So number 1, get crystal clear. Bam. See, look, we even got...
I love this, man. I love this. You know why?
So get absolutely crystal clear.
You know why most people don't achieve what they want in life? Because they don't know what they want, and if they do, they've never written it down.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just what they want, okay? It's getting what they want will actually do for them. It's like you come up with what you want, such as, let's say $100,000. I want $1 million. Let's go there. I want $1 million. But what do you want that for? What is that going to do for you? And actually break that down into what that's going to do for you and what you will do with that. And a lot of time that actually is like, well, actually, I don't really need that.
That's right.
At all.
Did I tell you the story about the Tony Robbins story? I was listening, if I did, I'm going to tell you again. I was listening to a Tony Robbins audio book, and he was saying he was at the seminar once, and he said, like, who here has got some financial goals, and it was a financial seminar. And this kid puts his hand up the back, this like 18-year-old kid puts his hand up the back and he goes, I want $1 billion. And Tony Robbins says, really, no shit, you want $1 billion. All right, what are you going to do with $1 billion? What do you actually, if I gave you $1 billion, what are you going to do with $1 billion? And he goes, I'd buy a jet. I said, oh, right, really, you'd buy a jet. Okay, what are you going to do with the jet? I'd fly to Mexico. Okay, how many times a year would you fly to Mexico? 4. All right, and who would go, just you? No, I'd take my entourage, my friends and my family. How many people? 10. So you're going to fly to Mexico on a private jet 4 times a year with 10 people. Yeah. So if you chartered a private jet to do that, right, if you buy a jet, it's going to cost you $250 million, and then you're going to have to park it somewhere and have it maintained. That's going to cost you another probably $2 million a year, right? If you charter a jet to fly you and your family and your friends from the United States to Mexico 4 times a year, it's probably going to cost you, you know, let's say $50,000 a trip. So there's 200 grand. Same result, you don't need $1 billion. And he basically broke this kid down to the point where the kid realised that what he actually wanted, what he needed to fulfill the lifestyle that he was dreaming in his head was he needed less than, he needed about $15 million. Long way from $1 billion.
So it is breaking it down. Like, you know, one of the questions I'd love to ask is like, what's that going to do? Well, even if when I'm saying it to myself, what's it going to do for me? I think about, all right, I need to do this. What's that going to do for me? And I really try to get a bit deeper on that. How will I know that I'm there as well? Like that to me is an absolute gold question. Like, how will you know when you've actually achieved that?
How will you know when you're popping off the top?
Exactly. How will you know? Don't Google that.
How will you know when you're popping off the top?
All right, number 2, seek help. Bang, there it is. Seek help. Seek help, Troy.
My chair, the back of my chair was way too
He's like a little kid who's had too much sugar. It's like, just calm down. What's this?
Bring on the red cordial.
Far out. All right. So
seek help.
Seek help. Seek help.
I clearly need it.
From someone who's done what you want or knows how to. Who's done this already that can help you, right? What is that? Yeah, all right, he's popping off the top. So get some help, Troy. Get crystal clear on what the hell you're doing, and then seek some help.
Seek some help.
He's gone. He's gone. That's it. All right, next one. We'll just keep moving. All right, screen grab. The next one is.
Can't we just make it through one episode?
No, we can't. Can't. What do you mean we? Speaking of which,
you know what it is? There's not enough oxygen in this room. That's what it is, man.
There's not enough oxygen. We need an oxygen app now to help.
All the doors shut. There's not enough oxygen in this room. I freak out. I get to like the 33-minute mark of the show and I just start wetting my pants.
All right, the next one.
Hey, Chris Badgett from Lifter LMS is watching. Hey, Chris, how you going?
Rule 3. Accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah. Get some social accountability, right?
Yeah.
So you get clear on what you want, get some help, someone who's done it before, some people who are also like working on it with you as well, so you can do it together, and you can be accountable, you can reach out to your friends and family, post on Facebook, wherever, somewhere where someone's not going to take your BS
like
excuses.
83% more likely to complete a goal if you declare it publicly than if you keep it to yourself.
Bam, there it is.
And did you also know that 43.5% of all statistics are made up?
Yeah. You know that 9 out of 14 episodes, I think we've used that same stat and joke. There's 10.
Yeah. Tara Johnson, Corporal TFJ says, pull yourself together, boys. Fair enough.
And then has a smiley wink. So that's all right.
Monte Cristo says, tops have popped.
All right. Number 4, rephrase your self-talk.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. So, we were saying, we can't say what we're saying off camera, but we were saying off camera, you can just change a word, can't you? You know,
you can.
You are shit to you are awesome.
Yeah. Oh, those things that I'm saying off camera. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to be said for that. The most important words are the ones you speak to yourself.
Correct.
I read somewhere. So, as an example, why didn't I do this? You know, beating yourself up for the things you didn't do. Change to what needs to happen for me to do this. Because why didn't I do this? Looks into the past and. What needs to happen for me to do this? Looks into the camera, right? And another one. This is I got from Marie Forleo from episode Break Bad Habits. Is change I can't to I don't, right? I can't eat this, chocolate ice cream to I don't eat ice cream after 1:30 in the morning.
Right. That's good, because that also works with, like, if you feel like, you know, like, if you wanted to blog, for example, right? If you wanted to start a blog, or I'll tell you what, if you wanted to start a live stream show like this, I had a conversation with Max recently about how many times I've almost pulled the pin and quit on this entire freaking live stream studio thing. How many times I've walked out that door at the end of the day having a not so mild panic attack, going, holy shit, you've really bitten off more than you can chew this time, dickhead.
Yeah.
Nice one. You've got all this great gear. You're going to turn the lights and the cameras on. You're going to sit down. What are you going to say? Nobody cares. You're a goose.
You're just going to sit there and cry. And
Yeah.
there you go.
I hope Simon's got something valuable to offer, because I got nothing, right? How many times that has happened is like countless. It happens all the time. So anyway, if you say, I can't make videos on the internet because I'm shit, just saying, I don't make videos on the internet rather than I can't make videos on the internet, because I can't is like it's like future-proofing yourself against doing it. I can't make videos on the internet.
Disempowering yourself.
It's disempowering. Whereas if you say,
Absolutely.
I don't make videos on the internet, then you're leaving yourself open to the possibility of change.
Yeah, definitely. And I really like what Josh Howell said here, or add the word yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
I don't make videos on the internet yet.
Yeah, or I can't yet, right? Like add that in as well.
You know those
So-
fortune cookies that you used to get in the, you know, with the crackers, and you get the fortune cookies? We used to play a game where you'd add the words in your neighbour's pants to the end of every one of the fortunes. I don't make videos on the internet in my neighbour's pants
Yet.
yet. There we go. Perfect.
Whew, new business,
So
new
instead of
swag
saying-
coming out from
instead of
wplinks
saying-
soon. Fortune cookies
There you go.
that are not safe for work, popping out the top.
Popping out the top in my neighbour's pants. Instead of saying, I can't do e-commerce websites, say, I don't do e-commerce websites in my neighbour's pants yet.
Exactly.
Far more beneficial.
Cool. And another one, well, actually, just on that. So I can't make videos, cool. I don't let my fear of publishing things when they're not perfect hold me back from doing what I want. Right? So changing that completely around. Cool. Another one. From I'm nervous, I'm anxious, change to I'm excited, or I'm about to do something awesome. That's the feeling, because the symptoms of nervousness and excitement are actually really similar, like the physical symptoms. There's a video from Simon Sinek about nervousness. He actually called it How to Never Be Nervous Again, which I don't entirely agree with, but it's a great
clickbait,
video anyway.
isn't it? It's clickbait,
Absolutely clickbait. I don't know if he wrote went into the details and wrote the YouTube title, but
Here's the thing about anxiety, though. Anxiety has all these negative connotations, right? But if you actually look at the word anxiety and look at the origins of that word, is it etymology?
I believe so.
Etymology or
That's the one.
entomology? There's etymology and entomology. One is the study of insects, and one is the history or the origin of the word. Someone look that up for me and give us a heads up, will you? The etymology of the word anxiety. You can be anxious about something, but it can be exciting. Like, you can be anxious at the start of the grand final, or the start of the what do they play in America? The Super Bowl.
NFL.
You can be anxious at the start of the Super Bowl because your team has made the game and you don't know who's going to win, and you're anxious. It doesn't mean that you're freaking out or that you need some medication or that you need therapy. It just means that you're excited. You're anxious about meeting someone on a first date because you've had this amazing connection on Tinder, and now you're going to meet up in real life.
There you go.
You can be anxious about it. It doesn't necessarily have to be debilitating or a bad thing. So just reframing.
It's your interpretation of it that gives it its power, basically.
That's exactly right. It's your relationship with it and the meaning that you put on it. Pete Perry said, entomology is the study of bugs. It does not surprise me that you know that, Pete. Thank you for clearing that up. And etymology is the origins of a word.
Cool. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, amazing.
So should we recap the framework? I think we should recap the framework.
Yeah, sure.
I think we should recap the framework.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a bumper.
Yeah, nice.
Recap the framework.
Number 1. Get crystal clear.
Oh, how good's Max?
He's really good.
That's fantastic.
What's her hair at Saturday? The guy with the
Dickie knee.
Yeah.
Dickie knee.
Anyway, moving on. Number 2, seek help. Yep. 3, get accountability, get social accountability. And then 4, rephrase your self-talk. All right?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. It's intentional living. The thing I like about writing down, what it is you want and getting crystal clear about it is that you then are living with intent. You have the intention to do something. And John Maxwell, we were looking at some quotes yesterday here because that's the kind of nerds that we are. we spend a lot of time at brainyquotes.com. John C. Maxwell, who wrote a bunch of books, one of which is called Intentional Living, another is called The 21 Immutable Laws of Marketing, and another one is called The 11 Immutable Laws of Leadership or something. There might be more than 11. Anyway, John C. Maxwell wrote a quote, said, intentional people fill their calendars so that there's no room for other people to fill their calendars, or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing.
Even if that calendar entry is blank space for nothing to happen,
Correct.
You cannot book me in here.
Block time. So Nick Thuckalal, who's a friend of mine, when we employed Ray to come into the business and help us with some marketing and operations, I said to him, I'm a bit nervous because he's going to come in and shadow me and basically do a lot of what I'm doing. What am I going to do in the business? And Nick looked at me and straight, like he didn't even bat an eye. He looked at me and he said, think. So what do you mean? He goes, block out time in your calendar and think. You know, Warren Buffett spends like 2 hours a day reading.
Haven't talked to him for a while, but yeah, I know him.
There you go.
2 hours a day reading.
Yeah, 2 hours a day reading.
Solid. Cool. There you go. All right.
So, very good.
Yeah. So what, you know, there's some things that you mentioned, a few books, some things that can help us.
So Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, I think, is the number one book. It is like, is that what I mentioned?
No, well, it's
Something
gonna,
else.
you know, we've got a bump up for the of the week.
Ah, right. Okay, here we go.
Roll it.
Get ready for Tool of the Week.
I am such an amateur.
No.
I'm
That's
such
all
an
good,
amateur.
mate.
This
Yeah,
is why we
so
should practice the
this
show.
isn't-
Max has been trying to get us to practice the show for 2 weeks now, and we still turn up 5 minutes beforehand and go, what are we doing, Max?
We are practicing. I'm part of a
This
roller
is
hockey
live,
team,
dude.
and we're like, should we meet up and practice? And we always just say, we practice when we're winning.
Right, we practice when we're winning.
Because we've never practiced ever.
Right.
And we came second in the grand final for our first season. Just throwing it out there.
Really?
Killer boots for
Wow.
the win. So yeah, as you were saying, you like this book? What is this book?
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is required reading. How was that? Did we talk about that beforehand?
Mate.
Did you just make that up then?
I'm
we talked about it
I'm
before,
incepting you with all these things.
Man, you know, Dean Jackson said recently, here's a weird metaphor for you. I learned this from Taki Moore. Dean Jackson said recently that we are cows and our thoughts are like milk. And what we need as thought leaders and influencers is someone to milk us. Take our thoughts and turn them into valuable insights for our audience. So what happened is, I remember when you first came in here this morning and we were having a bit of a pre-conversation about what the hell are we talking about on today's show, and you said something about a book, and I said Think and Grow Rich, and you've fed that back to Max and he's built a lower third, and I didn't even know that was happening.
That's not exactly how it went down. I'm not even going to tell you how it went down, but it's there, and that's all you need to know.
But did it happen before the show is what I'm saying?
Dude,
It happened before the show. I'm just a cow.
That's right, exactly.
And I'm being
getting
milked. I'm
That's
being
it.
milked. I need to send this to
Yeah.
Taki. It's funny. 43-minute mark. Someone send it to Taki. So Think and Grow Rich is required reading. It's dense. Someone fed back to me recently. They said, I'm reading Think and Grow Rich again. It's so boring. Well,
I didn't find it boring at all.
I think
it was
they're listening to the audio book, and I think the narrator is a bit dry.
Yeah, well, I just
Yes.
double speed it, and then you'll you know, travel through the vortex roller coaster that is double speed Audible.
It's awesome. It's required reading. It fundamentally shifted the way, you know, this thing only exists because somebody thought of it, right? The Apple Pencil only exists because somebody thought of it, and thank God they did. I love this thing. Mwah. In fact, I was
That's
reading
the
a
thermometer.
Yes, that's the
Don't kiss that.
I was reading a blog yesterday. This guy said he travels with 3 of these just in case the battery goes flat. So this only exists because somebody thought of it, right? So everything that exists in your world, including your success and your fitness and your relationships with your families and your friends and your financial situation and your spirituality and your habits and your routines and all that kind of stuff, your own happiness, it only exists because you've thought of it or you haven't thought of it. And if you haven't thought of it, if you haven't thought about it and you haven't thought what it would feel like to have a good relationship with my family members, for example, if you haven't put the thought into that and done the work thinking about that and thinking what it would feel like and what it would look like and then taken the action steps to make it happen, then you are leaving it to chance. And the other quote that we came up with yesterday from Jim Rohn, which is excellent, is if you don't plan your future, you're leaving yourself open for other people to plan your future for you. And guess what they have in store for you? Not much. Yeah, they don't have much planned for you.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Think and Grow Rich is this mindset about actually the great catchphrase from Think and Grow Rich is, the mind can achieve whatever the mind can conceive and believe. So you have to imagine something first. I imagined, when I went to Petaluma and saw what Leo Laporte was doing up there at This Week in Tech, and I saw his studio, I walked in and literally weed all over his floor, and then said, sorry Leo, sorry, couldn't help myself.
It's the thing I do.
It's the thing I do. Yeah. Sorry, Leo. As you were, back to the show. And I came home and I said to my wife,
cables.
I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to build a live stream studio, and I'm basically just going to work live on the internet, and people are going to watch, hopefully.
Yeah. Can I get a high five for that? Well done, mate. Bang,
so
we're here.
I thought about it. I conceived the idea. I then believed. Raw belief has got us this far. Believing that it is possible and visualizing what it is going to be like when it's finished. And then you can achieve it because your every part of your body goes into overdrive, every part of your consciousness goes into overdrive to make it real, right? Like, I am going to go to that bar and drink beer with my friends tonight. That's the conception. I believe it's going to happen, even though it's cold and wet and raining outside. I really believe that this is going to happen. So then you walk across to the bar and you have some beers with your friends, right? That's a really lame example of achieving something that you have conceived and believed. So whatever you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. As long as it doesn't defy physics. I don't think I can fly.
Well, you know,
Without,
there's a lot to be said about that.
Without
but
a jetpack or something.
You know, I think this is a topic we could definitely talk a lot more about. Like an example, before we wrap it up, is the 4 minute mile. Like, this was something that was believed to be physically impossible for humans to actually run. And then in 1954, I believe, by Roger Bannister ran the first 4 minute mile. And since then, it has become the standard. I believe in the first 12 months after him running it, 34 other athletes had managed to do that. So, and what a phenomenon that it's not possible, it's not possible, it's not possible. Someone does it, and then until it is.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
I think with that,
Awesome.
we'll wrap it up. There's a lot more that we could talk about when it comes to momentum. I'd love to know what you have, like, what are some tips that you've got for taking that first step? How do you build momentum? Please let us know in the comments. Or what is it that you're struggling with when it comes to building momentum? Where are you kind of stuck and you'd love for just like that one little thing that you know is going to be the spark that's going to create the fire that's going to help you move forward?
Monte Cristo says, have you ever heard of skydiving?
Let's go skydiving into scuba diving.
And
Samantha
Johnston says, that's what a good team does for you. Excellent, that's exactly right. A good team, good processes, and a good vision and alignment. Hey, we really appreciate you guys watching. It would be weird if no one else was watching, except Max. That
probably
would be a bit
anyway.
awkward. We probably would. So we appreciate you watching, and we'd love it if you could share this with your friends. Like us on Facebook, leave us some feedback, share it with your friends. You can always watch the replay here on our Facebook page or over at YouTube. And check us out on the podcast and come and see the blog at wpelevation.com. Until we see you next week, same bat channel, same bat time, same bat details. My name is Troy Dean.
I'm Simon Kelly, and remember, knowledge is power.
And silence is golden.